Over the past 45 years, G.I. Joe has become one of the most recognizable icons in the American toy industry. Born out of one simple concept, an articulated figure that's ready for adventure.
G.I. Joe.
G.I. Joe gave an entire generation of boys a whole new way to play. Action figure became a household word, and G.I. Joe an American icon. He's evolved with our culture and become part of our history. 1964, G.I. Joe is born. His namesake, inspired by Robert Mitchum's Academy Award-nominated The Story of G.I. Joe. In a world dominated by metal figurines, the action figure was an entirely new concept. With 21 moving parts and 75 different products, G.I. Joe sells over 2 million units in its first year. 1967, a whole new line of accessories is introduced, including the Mercury space capsule. 1970, Vietnam. Anti-military sentiment rocks the nation. The country was changing, and G.I. Joe changes with it. He adapts from military man to adventurer, aquanaut, and astronaut. The adventure team is born. 1974, G.I. Joe sports the famous Kung Fu grip.
Kung Fu grip.
Supported by a massive TV campaign, the new line goes on to outsell the original figures of the 1960s. 1977, the 12-inch G.I. Joe is retired, and a new 8-inch Super Joe lineup is introduced. 1982, Hasbro relaunches its franchise with the more fantastical G.I. Joe, a real American hero. The new G.I. Joe becomes code name for America's elite anti-terrorist fighting team. Accompanied by the 155-issue comic book series written by Larry Hama, an entirely new G.I. Joe breaks into the mainstream. The series goes on to become one of the best sellers of the 80s. 85, a hallmark year. Following 2 successful miniseries, the animated G.I. Joe, a real American hero, debuts on television.
Yo, Joe!
Against the ruthless Cobra enemy. Duke, Scarlet, Ripcord, and Snake Eyes lead the elite fighting unit against the Cobra forces of Cobra Commander, Destro, Baroness, and Storm Shadow. The end of the 80s brings the celebration of the brand's 25th anniversary. 1991, the G.I. Joe line expands. Supersonic fighters are introduced. G.I. Joe eco-warriors fight to save the planet, and the Drug Elimination Force takes on the growing drug trade. Hasbro's Hall of Fame series reintroduces the classic 12-inch figure, and the exclusive Duke character sells out 25,000 figures in one day. 2001, a real American hero is back. The companion comic book G.I. Joe Reinstated becomes one of the industry's best sellers. Over the next 5 years, G.I. Joe expands with Spy Troops the movie, Valor vs. Venom, and Sigma 6 on television. August 7th, 2009, G.I. Joe goes live in the first live-action full feature-length film, G.I. Joe, The Rise of Cobra. Today's battle force is outfitted with next-generation military gear to face a deadly enemy. Duke, Scarlet, Ripcord, Heavy Duty, and Snake Eyes battle Baroness, Destro, and Storm Shadow. Welcome to the next generation.